Hey guys, welcome to an impromptu PC Perspective live stream. We noticed there were a lot of product launches this week with the RTX 2070 and now today, Friday, the Core i9-9900K. And plus, I got this magical thing in the mail late yesterday, which is the Geek with 3 E's, mind you, A50 Mini ITX chassis that I'm kind of excited to take a look at. It's a lower cost acrylic Mini ITX chassis that's kind of the same form factor as the Ncase M1. So I figured, if it's all right with you, Alan, we'll just go ahead and take some questions from the chat, build this case, see how far we get, kind of go with it.
Sure, why not?
All right, that's good.
We had to build it anyway.
I had no plan B.
Okay.
If you had said no, so okay.
Yeah, I would have just got up and left.
Yeah. Now, I did manage to print the English version of the instructions because I have no idea what's in this box. I haven't opened it yet. These were revised 2 days ago, so obviously they're going to be the best version we can possibly get.
They had to add some more, all your base are belong to us.
Yeah, I've heard the instructions are pretty rough, but I don't know what version those guys are working off of. So hit us up at pcper.com/live, the chat room, if you have any questions about what happened this week or just hardware in general, and we'll go from there. Now, I think we can split duties here because the motherboard needs to be populated with the cooler and the CPU and RAM and such.
Okay.
I mean, you can do that while I dig into
assembling
this monstrosity.
I'm going to have to make some more room.
I could give you some room like here, probably. Move this stuff out of the way.
Knock all the things off the table.
Yeah.
All right.
So I didn't really plan very much for this build because this case was a pre-order and I wasn't exactly expecting it this week. But going around the office, I found a ROG Strix B360i Gaming LGA 1151 capable motherboard. So we're going to do that paired with the 8086K because our 9900K is still in use for some additional testing right now. Some sweet ADATA RGB memory.
Yeah.
DDR4 3200, 16 gigs, 8x2. Cooler, we have to see what works. Apparently it has a 65 millimeter height limit. It has a 66 millimeter height limit. We have a 65 millimeter tall Noctua cooler.
Does that include?
It includes the fan.
No, I mean, is that number?
I have no idea.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. And then we also have the Reven Brontes, which is definitely a little bit shorter. But I think we should.
Was that SFX? What's the name of those? Oh, wait. That's a smaller cooler. I thought you were talking about the small form factor power supply.
For the small form factor power supply, we have a 500 watt Silverstone SFX-L, which I'm pretty sure this supports SFX-L. And then storage, we have the Crucial P1, which maybe you can talk a little about at some point.
Well, I can't talk that much about yet because I haven't gone through all the test results, but it should be very similar to the Intel 660p.
So it's QLC based.
Yeah, QLC, SLC cache, most likely more than enough SLC cache to the point where you're never going to see the QLC speed. Yeah. Just trying to use it. If you use it like any normal person and you don't do continuous random writes to it for like an hour.
So I shouldn't use it for frame rating then?
I mean, it could actually probably handle frame rating.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, like it can handle, I think as long as the drive is reasonably empty, you get like up to 100 gig of cache. So it's just like...
Yeah, that might actually work.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty decent amount.
I have no idea what to expect with this case.
Oh, well,
but it was cheap. And this company is starting to get increasingly popular. So I figured it'd be worth it to check it out. So I bought one of these things with, little research, as you do.
I mean, it looked pretty cool on the screenshots.
Yeah, and I'm excited about the modding possibilities because it seems like a very simple construction, and I have a laser cutter.
I need to figure out how to do these shots here.
Yeah.
That shot's kind of...
Well, I think once we get the cardboard box out of the way, it would be a little better.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got the USB front panel connections and the power extension cable for the power supply because it gets routed in a weird spot.
Yeah.
A fairly high quality PCIe by 16 ribbon cable.
It's a pretty long one.
Yeah.
For such a small case.
Now,
Wonder how they have you contorting the...
Yeah. If you order this case from their U.S. site, as opposed to Taobao, which is kind of their older official methods directly from China, you have to order it with the extension, which is like, it adds like $30, I think. But I mean, the package total is 100. So, you know,
so
it's not the worst thing in the world.
You ordered that direct?
I ordered this from their U.S. site.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been shipping in China a little longer, I think. Some people have gotten theirs.
Bunch of screws.
Oh, boy.
That's a big box of screws. Oh, there's other stuff in there.
Oh, wow. Actually, I've never seen that before.
It came in a little case.
Here, switch to the camera.
Look at that.
It's a little semi-organized toolbox of case of standoffs and nuts and everything.
So you can go through that bag of, you know, hundreds of other random standoffs and stuff and like actually organize them into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy crap.
Power button. It's not bad.
Oh, the feet.
I've heard really bad things about these feet. Apparently the hole in the case isn't really threaded, so you kind of have to cross-thread them in.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, you know. All right. Well,
and the bracket for the power supply from the looks of it.
Yeah.
It's at the bottom.
Desk space. Let's take out the brunt of the case.
Uh-oh.
What
just happened?
That was just foam.
Okay.
And that's all it is. It's just flat acrylic and some aluminum extrusions. They look like maybe 10 by 10 aluminum extrusions, 10 mil.
Oh. Yeah, the box did seem kind of small for a case, but there you go.
All right. Maybe I should actually start consulting the instructions now, because I did not do my research on how this goes together. You want to pop open that motherboard and start populating stuff.
I'll start working on that and trying to figure out how to get a good camera angle going for you.
Yeah. I mean, probably end up having to adjust the...
Wish we had like a down shot.
Yeah. You know, very hacked together.
You know, we just basically turn the thing on and...
That's what I did. It's been a while since I've engineered a live stream, as it turns out.
Yay, motherboard. Am I going to need any of the other stuff from underneath the motherboard? Probably not.
IO shield, is that attached on that motherboard? Pre-attached?
Yes.
Well.
All right, there's another box to get out of the way.
If you enjoy building IKEA furniture, this seems to be the case for you. Very little words.
Is it an IKEA? Oh, yeah.
It's mostly pictograms.
Is there the little man turning the wrench?
There's not the little man turning the wrench.
Oh,
here,
man. Yeah, switch to, I think it's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very IKEA-like.
Yeah. This build is sponsored by nobody besides me.
Yeah, sponsored by Josh Tech.
Yeah, sponsored by Josh Tech.
Yes.
Merch available at joshtech.com.
That's very true. Not even a joke.
I drink my coffee out of this mug every weekday.
Need to get the mic a little bit out of the way.
As I knock mine.
Yep.
Making for wonderful audio experience.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I mean, these are just pretty standard aluminum extrusion. V-slot, as some people would refer to them as.
I figure out where the shot is.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to switch it.
Yeah. Pretty simple construction idea. Nothing wrong with a little aluminum extrusion. Now, getting these acrylic panels out of this bag is annoying.
Let me raise that. I'm going to raise that shot up a little bit.
Okay. Just unscrew the thing and do the stuff.
What could go wrong? We'll mess with the shot while... There we go.
Why am I not using the knife? I could stop hitting my mic stand. That would be nice, but it seems unlikely. Sure. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Of course, we have a prime lens on that camera, so we can't zoom in and out. But
sorry.
Got the physical zoom.
Jim's over there watching the screen half dead. Wondering what is happening.
We all are.
CPU.
Yeah, to clarify in the chat, this is the A50 case. They're actually launching an A50X, which is a version of this that is supposedly able to support water cooling. Looks like it's just a little taller, so you can fit like an all-in-one radiator in the top. And the pre-order said something about getting first opportunity at the A50X. I don't really know what that means. Oof. Not great.
Actually, those are pretty nice extrusions.
Yeah, no. As far as knockoff extrusions go, not bad.
Open this RGB RAM.
Heck yes.
I just said, ooh, water cooling. Were you just talking about water cooling?
Yeah, they have a water cooling version of this case coming out.
Where do you even fit all the things?
Just make it taller, yo.
I guess.
Fit your radiator.
I mean, they'd have to make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
This thing's probably pretty tiny. Yeah. We can switch to that camera.
I couldn't find our Elgato / Corsair Stream Deck. I looked for it earlier. Because that would be the ideal thing to use, obviously. Built for this.
Yeah.
Let's see. I need screw E, which isn't particularly labeled, but just
insert tab A in a slot B. RAM's pretty cool looking. Although it's upside down right there. Yeah.
I don't understand the... Oh, no, okay. They are drilled through. I was like, it tells you to put a screw right through the extrusion. That doesn't seem like that's going to really work to me. I'm no scientist. Wait, yes, I am.
You are?
I don't know.
You're missing your Livestrong bracelet.
How can you build a PC without one?
You can't build a PC without a Livestrong bracelet.
I'm going to go with that's not the correct screw.
Have to fight cancer. All right, so, well, that's one cooler option. Let me see that. Pass me that Noctua cooler. See how tall this actually is.
Yeah.
I mean...
What the heck screws are you supposed to...
Whoops.
Oh. The actual long ones. That would make sense.
Get out of the box. This is not ideal. There we go.
So I'll loosely fit this frame together before I go cinching it down, hulking it down, as you will. So now we're going to get sued by Disney, I guess.
65 millimeter, huh?
It's in the product name. It's the L9X65. So I definitely trust Noctua specification there.
Yeah, I just don't know. I guess the 65 is from the processor up.
Yeah, it's the cold plate to the fan, I think.
But if there's only... Oh, okay. So there's perforate. It should be perforated.
Yeah.
In other words, the 1 millimeter of clearance that we might get here...
Yeah.
Is to something that's open, not a flat face.
Correct.
Okay, just checking.
Important detail.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, get another box off the table. All right, I have the accessory box. and the cooler.
There should be some thermal paste somewhere on this table. Oh.
It's closer to you.
Yeah.
Although this probably comes with another thing in it.
I came out of that box. I had to use it earlier today.
You already stole the thermal paste.
Oh, you know.
Here's the thermal paste back from the.
I've been reviewing some CPUs. You run out of thermal paste.
Yeah. All right, we got a bracket. Uh-oh.
I don't think that cooler's ever been used. I could be wrong.
Give me a short. Oh, there it goes. Give me a short trip if we only had 2 of the 4 attachments. Nuts.
Yeah, that would be a bit of an issue.
That would be unfortunate. I don't know if we're going to need these spacers for this board.
I don't know.
Find out. Look at the snazzy screwdriver.
I love those super long Phillips screwdrivers they give you with the Nocto coolers.
Do not need the AMD set today.
Although, I think one of the things I want to do with this case review is we actually have a nearly identical Strix motherboard that's the B450 chipset. So I think I might want to compare how a 2700X versus 9900K fares in sort of this limited small form factor system.
Yeah. See which way we might want this to go.
Yeah.
If we care. Yeah.
I will say, if you haven't read the 9900K review, it draws a lot more power than I was expecting. It drew like
normally or overclock?
Like 50 watts higher than an 8700K at stock, I think. Yet it has this same 95 watt TDP. So, I mean, there's discussion to be had there of what TDP actually means. It doesn't really mean power draw, but.
Well, was it drawing that like bursty?
No, it's actually consistent.
Huh.
Saw the standoffs in the upper left and lower side brackets. Oh, great. I gotta break into the acrylic now. So we'll put the extrusions off to the side.
Pretty close fit, that bracket to that RAM.
I mean, we have lower profile RAM if we need it, obviously.
No, it's not that. It's on the side.
Oh.
It's like,
yeah.
It's like 1 millimeter of clearance. Right there. It doesn't hit it. So. Which I guess that's all that really matters. Yes.
Feel that. It's like a.
Feels plasticky.
Yeah.
Is that actually? Wait. I think that is plastic. I think that's acrylic.
Oh, it's still got the covering on it.
Yeah.
Because it felt rubberized.
Oh yeah.
But it still has
the protective.
Yeah. It's like. Oh yeah, I got the white version of the case. It also comes in black. So, there's that.
All right, so off comes the fan temporarily. Put it this way so that the air that's moving through these fins is also moving through the. I'm guessing that's the VRM heatsink.
Would appear so.
Which might be hard to see on the camera, but it's right in there. There's a VRM heatsink along the I/O section.
All right, standoffs.
All right, so nice shiny surface for the heatsink there.
With the countersunk screws.
Dang, you really gronked on that thermal paste cap.
That's what I'm here for.
Trying to cut my hand open. Actually, trying to cut my jacket open.
It's okay if I'm stronger than you.
Well, the problem is it kind of like sets a little.
Oh, that is on there tight. Grab the pliers. I guess I should take off this acrylic covering as I go. I don't want to scratch it, but I have no idea if it will be accessible after each step.
Well, yeah.
I mean, so be it. If it gets scratched. It's going to happen at some point.
I'll just have to be careful with it.
Oh, this is difficult to peel off stuff.
You might need to catch the edge of it with the... Oh, we don't have the X-Acto up here. You want me to get it?
No, I almost got it.
There's an awful lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'll get better at some point.
Oh. All right. So, what is the current socially acceptable method, shape of application of thermal compound?
Similar to toothpaste.
Oh, so just like
yeah.
I don't wait. What shape do you apply your toothpaste?
Well, see, if you don't know the answer to that, you're just hopeless.
I mean, I just kind of like throw a bead on there. Saying. Come on.
You have to consult the Gamers Nexus mod mat over there in the corner for how to apply the thermal paste on any given CPU.
Oh, do you?
Well, it has handy guides for each different CPU size.
I'm just doing an X.
Fine.
It's not pretty, but it'll get the job done.
Seems like quite a bit of paste.
Yeah, I know. Well, the problem is it got... Dang it, why is that? It was coming out kind of splotchy. I think this thing like started drying up.
It's brand new.
I know. But the cap was on like it was glued.
Well, yeah.
How about this? I'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, that'll work. Wasn't really.
Oh boy, first stress fraction in the acrylic.
Did it come that way?
No, I heard it snap.
Oh. So
be more careful.
Tighten the screws less. Got it.
Let's see if there are any questions. Mostly just making fun of us, which, you know, par for the course.
Well, they're saying if you have not enough thermal paste, then you have problems. But if you have
too much... You can never have too much thermal paste, am I right?
There's limits.
Yeah, I was definitely kidding.
There really is nothing wrong with, like, placing the heatsink on and kind of, like, applying some force and kind of wiggling around a little bit and then, like, popping it back up and seeing what your coverage looks like.
Yeah.
As long as when you place it back down, you kind of start on an angle so you're not trapping a bunch of air pockets in there.
It's interesting. This piece, the holes are countersunk to do the same operation that I want to do, which is good considering they're screws with a tapered head. The other side, not so much.
Well, the tolerance is so tight on this. I'm gonna have to pop this RAM out to get the heatsink fan back on.
Well, hopefully that cooler is the appropriate height. I don't need to take it off completely again.
Yeah.
I think it will probably be fine.
We'll find out the hard way. Oh, this smaller Noctua cooler is kind of interesting to work with. Oh yeah, which way do I want this? Where is the CPU?
Twitch chat wants to know why we broadcast at Twitch but never acknowledge your existence. Because I can only look at one chat at a time.
Yeah.
We use 2 services that each have their own chat, so we use the centralized one instead.
Yeah.
And IRC is way better than either of those pieces of garbage.
Yep.
Although I guess there is a IRC front-ended Twitch, or at least there used to be. I don't know if there still is. Like IRC or Twitch chat was just IRC at least at some point. Which, you know, makes sense instead of reinventing the chat wheel.
All right, that's tucked in there pretty well. And there's the RAM.
Oh, that coffee's not hot anymore.
You just poured that not too long ago. Is time flying on the
Oh, we're having so much fun.
Oh, where's the M.2 slot? Oh, it's under that.
Take a look at this, Allyn, and see if you can figure out what they mean.
What they mean by...
So they've got these little slidey threads, right?
Yeah, slides into the... Yeah.
Yeah, but look at where they have it. I guess it's supposed to be in that channel, and then you bolt it on the side.
Oh, they're showing it in front of.
Yeah.
It's like an extrusion. The drawing is like a... They're showing it ahead of the rail.
Yeah. Well, so these don't fit spectacularly well into this channel.
All right, so spin the motherboard around. Oh, we don't have that small of a screwdriver over here.
Yeah, I do. I grabbed one.
Oh, you did? Oh.
I thought ahead. Don't worry. Someone was bound to.
Glad somebody's thinking around here. Come on.
So, after all is said and done with the launches this week, how does the chat feel about both of them? I'm curious.
Look. The thermal pad does not cover the whole M.2 SSD.
Wow. They're listened.
Is somebody listening?
I mean, not to you.
It's even,
probably to much smarter people.
It's only on the controller side. So if it's, now granted it is, no, it's only covering the controller and the DRAM. And it's not covering the flash. I am so shocked. It's like, you know, that's the part of it that's actually getting hot that you need to wick the heat away from. And do I take the thing off of this thermal pad?
I mean, I guess you might as well. It's not like you're going to ruin the thermal pad if we change the SSD out.
No, I'm just worried about gooing up the... I guess it won't go up the label.
Wow, this is pretty fiddly to get these nuts lined up with this panel.
Oh, I am going to need more hardware from the box. Need the M.2.
I'm seeing some disdain for NVIDIA price increases, which I can definitely agree with. It's unfortunate. At the end of the day, we're going to have to write about and evaluate the products that do exist, though. So even though NVIDIA GPUs seem to be creeping up in price, I mean, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of competition. So if you want a GPU,
creeping up in price relative to what?
Well, like,
you mean just the 2080s are more expensive?
The 2070 would be a 2060 probably in most generations.
Oh, yeah.
Based on the fact that it uses the 106 GPU and kind of relative performance increase generation over generation. Whereas we have 80 pricing without the subsequent performance increase.
Yep. This M.2 standoff is microscopic.
Can I see that little screw? Driver?
Which little... Oh.
I will say that the Founders Edition 2070 at $600 is ridiculous. No one should buy that. I think even $550 for a 2070 is probably too much.
I need the small screwdriver.
Depending on what you want, it might be a little more justifiable, but like at that point, I might just wait for a sale on a 2080, or sorry, a 1080 instead. Which, who knows how long those will remain in the channel. It's the other unfortunate piece of this.
It looks like they're starting to dry up, although I'm sure there's plenty on the aftermarket for used.
Yes, used GPUs, the best value right now.
Yeah.
I had someone ask on Twitter why we don't recommend used GPUs more often. And the truth of the matter is that, like, I buy a lot of used stuff, and I'm not afraid of it, but kind of the last thing I would want to happen is for us to recommend everyone buy used products and someone get hosed on the transaction on eBay or Craigslist.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I can't build a gaming PC anymore. Whereas, I mean, that's certainly less likely to happen with a new card from a new retailer.
In other words, there's inherent risk.
Yeah, but there is reward. You can get a hell of a deal. Oh, that's just spinning. Yeah, this is not the best.
Not ideal.
It's not the worst thing I've ever done, but actually, I think they have me doing this backwards. I should be able to get the nut started and then slide it into the channel and tighten it. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. I've worked with aluminum extrusion before, and that's exactly how you do it. To kind of get it loose, slide it into the channel, and then tighten it up.
Oh. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Pro tip number 1.
How come we don't have electric screwdrivers? We actually do.
I've never been a fan. They usually don't provide enough torque to actually be useful.
Yeah.
In my personal experience.
I know Ryan ordered that one I recommended years back. The little slim line.
The Chinese company that makes that soldering iron, that USB-C soldering iron, also makes a screwdriver that's fairly interesting in the similar vein. It's expensive. It's like $100.
All right, so I want the thermal paste, screwdriver. It's taking you so long, Ken.
I don't know.
Are there some other sections I can?
Yeah, so here's the rest of the instructions. See if you can work forward. Please do rest of build.
Okay. Hopefully we don't need to use that other heatsink.
Yeah, that would be painful.
That would be. Let's see what I got here. I don't I don't see those parts. I know.
So it'll be this other half.
Yep.
And then some acrylic from in there. You're doing the same thing I'm doing, essentially, just with another panel.
Just looking for that. Oh, those. They're hiding.
Oh. That's a pretty good nesting job, all things considered.
They cut them. They didn't need to have these little edges cut out of them, but they did, just so that they could cut them out of the same piece, I think. All right, so Russian nesting doll computer case. Kind of screws they want me to use.
Actually, I'm done with my steps, so I'm going to need step 5 from under you.
Okay. All right, so I need 4 of those. What screws are you using? It's countersunk. Is it these?
Yeah, I've been using those. Coffee's still warm, or cold. I should have kept it in my thermos.
Hasn't warmed up on its own?
No. It's unfortunate.
All right. Well, I'll have to catch up.
Okay.
You get stage for that one, and I'll try to get there quickly. Wait. They want you to use the countersunk ones on the plastic? It's not countersunk?
Yeah.
Those are the flat-faced ones. G, whatever G is. And that looks like G.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Oh.
I assume. That might be a bad assumption to make, but it seems to work.
Perhaps I need to get these off.
So I need 4 of these guys.
Wow, yeah, you're right about these. Let's go get an X-Acto.
Oh man, Stressed Out Cat in the chat bought that ES121 screwdriver I was talking about for $50. So, not sure if I just didn't remember the pricing. $50 seems like a pretty good deal in general. He said it was on sale. 121. I might have said 151. Yeah, it's essentially like the same platform as that soldering iron, like based on the same microcontroller and stuff.
Does it use USB-C as a?
I'm not sure.
Power.
I think that one has a battery, probably, because having a screwdriver you'd have to have plugged in would be pretty stupid.
I need.
Yes.
I gotta fix your screw job.
Well, I kept it loose on purpose.
It wasn't loose.
Oh, well, my bad. Probably wasn't square also.
That's what I gotta fix.
Luckily, that seems adjustable up into the last moments. You can get in that channel.
It's like a Rector set stuff.
You know, I was tempted to go out and buy a 9700K today to test it because...
Yeah, I thought you were talking about that.
I can't find... it's not in stock at our local Micro Center. It's in stock at a couple, but...
Not ours.
Yeah. Then that's the only 9th gen CPU they list. They don't list the i5 or the i9 at all on their website. So that's not great for availability of all this stuff.
Come on, you can peel off.
So this is essentially the general shape of the machine. Like that's tiny compared to our GPU, which I'm not entirely sure will fit because I didn't really look.
It should?
I think it will. That's why I picked a Founders. The ES121 charges over micro USB and has a gyro sensor in it, so it twists the direction you twist. Yeah, I've used an electric screwdriver with that before. It actually works fairly well. So if you go right-handed,
is it proportional?
Screws in. It was on the one I used. But I imagine it's probably on that one. The review I saw of that showed it was actually pretty torquey.
Stressed out? Is it proportional? Like the more you twist, the faster it goes? Because if it does stuff like that, I'm getting that. Like I'll buy that right now.
Yeah.
There's as many small things as we work on.
Yeah.
I need like an impact that does that.
A mini impact?
No, like an actual impact.
Oh, yeah. What if you had a mini impact for putting together PC cases?
Then you would strip an awful lot of small screws.
Yeah.
You get to use that impact driver yet?
No. Hopefully this weekend we're going to put together that Maslow CNC kit, assuming my roommate and I both have, a spare Saturday or Sunday.
Ken recently got my hand-me-down Milwaukee 1/4-inch drive impact driver.
Oh, I didn't tell you, but I did go buy the bit kit for that when I was at Home Depot last.
The little red case thing.
Yeah, they had like a couple different sizes. I got like the medium one, essentially.
That's probably the same one I got.
Yeah. It was like $40 or something like that. It wasn't too bad. For a wide array of bits to put on that
Just
thing.
wait, Ken. Just wait until you're trying to drive something into like a stud.
Yeah.
Dude, it just...
Chews through it.
It just laughs at you. Like, it's just like, what? You want to... If you keep going, it'll either break the thing or drive it through the drywall. Like, it'll just keep going. Like, it's just...
That's what I like. You can select the speed/torque from the menu. So it has a little display.
Oh. But it's either on or off?
No, it's not on or off. It's you select the relative speed.
No, I'm with you.
But the gyro isn't proportional.
Oh.
But I mean, it's
That's
just like
okay,
an up
then.
or down button. It should be.
Wait, there's a menu and like a...
Yeah, it's just like that soldering iron. It has that little same
little
LED
tiny
display.
screen?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Get off of that. There we go.
Okay, so there's the rear panel. Let's see what step 6 looks like.
Those plastic bits started this. Tedious. All right. Screw.
Well, I can go ahead and do that, I guess. Install the power extension cable.
All right, we got one of those screws started. The chat says I seem to be the builder.
Just in general?
I don't know.
Because I would agree with that, but...
I just take apart things for fun. My car is currently half apart in the parking lot.
So it's a normal day at the office? Then?
Yes, normal day.
I can't find the screws they want me to use for this. Little pointy guys.
So these things just slide in like you don't even have to have them necessarily.
They're usually a bit of a tighter fit than that, but...
Well, I mean, like you don't necessarily have to rotate them because they'll rotate in the...
Yeah, if you get the first one in there and it's loose enough, they'll generally get the right amount of play.
Well, what I mean is this. That'll turn on its own, though, right?
Yeah, you should be able to cinch it down. As long as it slides, then it will engage.
Gotcha.
Right, because it has to be parallel to slide through. Where the heck?
Okay, they're not telling me, like, does it need to be lined up on the edge?
It looks like it to me. It looks like it's supposed to be perpendicular. Yeah, I cannot find these screws anywhere.
Which ones? Oh, I don't see those on that thing.
Unless they're in another bag. It seems like they're in this, some in this bag with the feet, but I don't know how many you need for putting the feet on. Okay, there were 6 bags and 4 feet. So I'm going to assume, or 6 screws and 4 feet. And I need 2 for this one. So just go ahead and assume that.
Go in the rail, you silly thing. All right, I think we're good.
How exactly are you supposed to do that?
I'm not
I feel
going.
like that's all this live stream is going to be. How in the...
All right.
Okay.
There's a piece.
So...
I don't know if this goes on the inside or the outside or what.
Hold on. Just, can you grab this real quick?
Oh, it goes the other way around.
So the acrylic pieces are in the outside away from the back panel. Or they're on the inside away from the back panel. Yes. Like
so.
that. Yeah. And you use these 2 screws.
Well, the ends are threaded. Interesting.
Newegg has a deal on the HP EX 920 for $189 right now. Well, what capacity? I'm worried about HP support compared to Intel Samsung. What 1 terabyte NVMe would you recommend right now?
There's nothing wrong with the 920. We haven't tested one here, but like other guys have.
Yeah.
It's been fine.
Oh no. Where'd that screw go?
Not allowed to lose the screws.
It's bound to have to play this game at some point.
Using the screwdriver is a good way to not over torque these things.
Yeah.
Okay,
So look at the power cord. And it's supposed to fit in that back cutout, but I don't know how.
This cutout?
No, the one below it. See, look at the diagram here.
This?
Yeah. You get my problem here? Like they have it sort of.
Hold on.
Yeah. Since it's a panel mount one.
Spin this around. Okay. Oof. Gotta be careful. Righty. So that barely fits. And then,
okay. Yeah. Well.
Want to just be a press?
Yeah.
It worked. It's in.
Don't really know what the hell I'm screwing into. Cross-threading the acrylic.
Oh, careful. I heard crunchies.
Yeah. Yeah. And I lost the other screw, so once I find that, maybe
one
that
screw
will go in. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere.
All right, we're done with 4.
Yeah. Okay, so 6 is the bottom panel. Or 7 is the bottom panel. Nope. Methinks they might have redesigned it, but since
stressed out cat's playing with his ES121. Twisting perpendicular to how fast you move it.
Okay.
Does that mean you have to keep twisting it? Like what I'm looking for is like if you twisted it, say like 1/8 of a turn, would it go a certain speed? And then if you turned it another 1/8 of a turn yourself, on top of the previous 1/8 turn, would it then go faster? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I'd expect it to work.
So is it proportional, I guess? It's perpendicular, but that might be
I think these acrylic panels are supposed to be the templates for the water jet cutting of real material. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So this is the panel they show at the bottom.
Right.
But
But there's a vent.
Yeah, there's a vent. I don't know which way it would be situated.
Well, the motherboard goes here.
Yeah.
Let's get an idea of what's going on here.
General layout.
So, like, this would be the motherboard with the I/O shield. Would go. Which would go there. Wait, that's those standoffs. Standoffs do not. Standoffs were lined up with the holes. It would be here. Something does not compute.
There are 2 different length standoffs. I don't know. Yeah, there are.
No. The height is okay.
No, it's not. These are the same length.
Oh yeah. Well, other than them not being the same length, it's the like I need to be up here. That's where it lines up.
What if you rotate the mother? Oh no.
I can't rotate the motherboard. Oh.
Yeah.
This piece needs to be there and that piece needs to be there.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just going to take this off for a second. Actually, I'm going to take this one off. Oh, I got to take this off again.
Yeah. Go me.
Don't lose the other. We only have one of those.
Yeah, so the notch is supposed to be on the opposite side as the extrusion that makes the L, that makes the 90-degree turn. Also, should probably check to see if the right standoffs are in.
So pay very careful attention to the IKEA drawings is what Ken is trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, come on. If we didn't have to
there's
disassemble this once.
There's these really subtle details in this very simple looking drawing that you have to that you have to pay attention to. Yeah, because one of the this is going to be impossible to see on the camera, but the offsets, the length from the edge of the standoff is different on these two pieces.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be these standoffs. So those standoffs are the wrong size as well.
And we need them. Nope. You got to take it off first. Fortunately, I only have to just loosen
This was going too well.
So yes, and test fit the motherboard as early as possible.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. I would have gotten all the way through and been like,
they would be like totally assembled. You're just trying to put the motherboard. Okay, now we'll put the motherboard in. Oh,
I guess we can actually check the cooler tolerance too.
Okay, so slide these out. And we'll figure out what we need to do. First of all, shorter standoffs.
Yes. No, well, longer standoffs.
Well, I'm taking these shorter standoffs
off
and removing them. Thing is, I think with the way these pieces need to be rearranged, I don't think they're going to be in the same. It's like.
No, I'm pretty sure the standoffs are in the right location.
Well, no. What I'm saying is this piece needs to actually be there. No, because those are countersunk.
Yeah, it needs to be rotated 180 degrees.
Right.
Which you can just do.
I mean
like that.
But the motherboard's going to be on the wrong end of the case.
No, yeah. Yeah, so the notch goes on that end. Right. The opposite side as the L bracket.
Going around this way.
Mm-hmm.
This is there. So if I flip this around, but then the thing is,
you have to flip that around.
But then that's the same. It's in the same place. I just moved everything around. I'm looking. This needs to be flipped over.
Okay.
The end piece needs to be flipped because look, there's the countersinks on the inside.
I see. Yep.
Okay. So let's undo the thing we were undoing. We gotta fix the standoffs anyway, though.
It's true.
So we had to. This had to come apart anyway.
Yeah.
So you were right. Up until
I was wrong.
You were wrong on a different. You were wrong on a different part. Okay, so longer standoffs.
I'm still trying to figure out what orientation the the bottom panel goes.
Well, that's what I was trying to put the motherboard in to see where it made sense to have the vent.
Yeah. Well, that still isn't really going to tell us. Like, do you want the vent over the motherboard? I guess. I don't really know what will be most advantageous. Because there's the power supply and the graphics card on the other end, but like the bottom of them.
Yeah.
So you could at least potentially draw some airflow down across the motherboard if you had that vent in the bottom. As cooling the bottom of the power supply isn't really going to do anything. How many fan slot size placements does that case have? I'm not sure.
Well, there are holes to...
Yeah, there are. I just don't know what the clearance looks like for how thick of a fan you can fit.
Clearance might be a serious issue there.
Yeah. Should include sink screws so you can't over-tighten them and damage the acrylic.
That is true. Some of these are countersunk.
Yeah.
It's very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And the bigger problem is with the damaging the acrylic is they have you using countersunk screw types on holes that are not countersunk.
Yeah. So you just end up driving the tapered
you're trying to wedge
acrylic.
Yeah, you're trying to wedge the acrylic apart in some places. So those are the ones where you just gotta just snug them and leave them at that.
Honestly, one of my plans for this case is to potentially slowly replace at least some of the external panels with different materials. Like I have laser cutter, and I think like 1/8 to 1/4 inch hardwood might be interesting.
That's true.
To like the LGR wood grain 486, but the wood grain 8086K.
Thing did not want to rotate on its own. There we go.
I'll just keep that open in another tab.
Okay, so this is back. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one needs to be swapped.
Spin this guy around.
Right round, baby. Right round. Fine stained hardwood from exotic locations. Exactly.
Yes.
All the rage.
Take this. Wait, flip it.
Put the thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
Oh, that's exactly what I just did.
Let's see if I can.
So what you're saying is, who sings that song again?
Missy Elliott?
Yeah. So you're saying Missy Elliott was assembling IKEA furniture.
Probably.
And then wrote that song. Basically. Okay, now we take this guy. So.
Okay, this one is not keyed for a direction, it appears.
Good.
Though I remain suspect about How in the heck?
Find that other screw for that.
I did. It's right there.
Those are the ones that were holding the power cable in?
I think so. I don't know. I'm suspect about even putting those in. I think it will be fine without it.
I thought they were pointier. Those are the same as those.
Yeah.
The other ones were, where'd the other one go then?
I don't think we ever actually had a pointy one.
Oh.
That might be the crux of the problem.
Gotta be careful, because then we might run out of some other type. That is really, where do you want this to be? Fine?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like this case probably isn't going to come apart at some point. Also.
I think the screw is meant to screw into that.
Yeah.
It feels wrong.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing the same thing right now with these feet. You're essentially just cross-threading.
Well, you're making...
Well, you're threading, actually,
you're
the
making,
one,
yeah.
the acrylic. Isn't the best thing in the world.
They're enough in from the edge that it's probably not going to split anything. Okay, well...
And none of these need to be too tight.
Never thought I'd see Ken and Allyn working together as a team. Hell has frozen over. Ken and Allyn work as a team more often than you guys think. He comes over, we take his car half apart.
It's true.
Put it back together.
.3D print the other bits that need replacing. Yeah, no, that's obviously a big area too.
They don't give you anything with this, right?
No.
Like you'd have to make.
Yeah, but these are all such simple shapes. You could essentially like scan them.
Yeah,
and then get the outline.
Lay them on your scanner.
Yeah. Okay, so.
All right, so what do you got there?
Actually, we should probably look at the clearance
yes,
of
this. Yes, let's make sure that this actually fits in now.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Oh, that cooler clearance though.
It is like almost literally 1 millimeter, maybe 2 from the top. What does the top piece look like? That's the top piece?
The side piece.
Or that's the side, that's all the opening I have? Oh dear. I mean...
It'll mount.
It will mount. It's going to be sucking air in through the E.
Yeah, although...
Kind of.
The cooler is going to be so difficult to replace after the fact.
I mean, it's reasonably open.
Why did I buy this plastic IKEA Nightmare Biohazard? I don't know.
I don't know. We just, wanted to... So how much shallower is this? Do we even know? Or is it the same exact height?
Significantly shorter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but...
It won't fit with the RAM.
It's shorter, but it's offset.
Yeah, because that end's supposed to go over the RAM, but we have fairly tall RAM in it.
Can it go the other way? Is this a perfect square mount?
No, I don't think so.
That looks...
Is LGA a perfect square? I don't think so. Let's just stick with an Octo one.
Could overhang over the... No, actually.
No, because it's way too tall.
It's actually wider. So even if I try to mount it sideways the other way, it'll hit the RAM.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll hit the VRM. Holy crap, this is a tight fit. Yeah, so basically only that, well, with What's this board? This is the Strix
B360.
Okay.
This will never hit 5 gigahertz. Well, yeah.
So that cooler, what cooler was that?
The Reven Brontes, it looks like.
So that will only work on this board with
low profile
RAM.
Which isn't a big deal.
And the Noctua, man, that's so close. It's like you're talking like 3 millimeters between the VRM heatsink and this, and like 1 millimeter between the RAM and the cooler.
Yeah.
And in this case, literally, 2 millimeters between the top of the fan and the acrylic side panel.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oh, popping off that fan.
Let's not do that. Get back in there.
Need every millimeter I can get.
Yeah, I mean, this is, wow.
I
Okay.
mean, we'll roll with it. It's fine.
Yep. Now, do we need to put this in now before we start putting other things on? Or
yeah, you can go ahead. It says install the bottom panel first, but it doesn't
well,
matter.
let's do that.
Okay.
Because we need something to increase the rigidity of this thing.
Fair.
Because right now it's trying to break itself, basically, if you flex it.
So we have six
Six of those
screws
same.
and nuts. Slide in the channel. Put some washers into the side panel. That's a pretty good idea, actually. Put some spacers in there to give it a little air gap.
True. Although
Good job, Biohazard.
Although these screws are so short.
Well, I could get longer screws.
Yeah. It's just that, like, you can barely, as they come, you barely get like 1 or 2 threads in there to have enough play to slide it in the rail. So yeah, you definitely need longer screws. And maybe not the countersunk ones, so you don't risk splitting open. Although the side panel, I think, is countersunk. Is it?
Nope.
Nope. Oh well. And millimeter spacers? I don't know, that's a lot.
It's about the width of this extrusion, I imagine. So yeah, you probably want more like 5 mil.
Yeah. And might be pushing it, at least for this particular case. It's kind of overdoing it.
Yeah.
Would be enough. Oh, in the rail.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is you don't buy a case like this without expecting to have to modify something at some point. Like, there's a reason it's $100 with the PCIe ribbon. Like, it's not going to be the most well thought out thing in the world. But if it's close enough,
yeah, I mean, it's
know,
a decent for $100.
Yeah,
I mean,
$100 shipped from China, DHL Express.
Yeah.
It was too fascinating to pass up. I mean, honestly, I think these side panels with the Geek logo are pretty ugly in general. So if I just cut a side panel with like really wide slits in it, maybe like you get way more airflow. Maybe put some other sort of design in there, but like it's not the most aesthetically pleasing logo in the world.
Well, let's hope it moves some air through that E.
Fan speed, baby. Just crank them up. What did you miss? Not a whole lot. Some putting together of a case, some taking apart of a case, some putting together of a case. You know, general stuff.
Oh, come on, get in there. All right.
Borrow one of Linus's blower matrons. That'll do it. I'll move some air. That is the best nickname I've ever heard for those Delta fans.
Is what?
Linus calls them blow-ematrons. There's like 12-volt Delta fans. Like, "Whee!"
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Server room. Come on. You can do it.
Engage. Not the engage, though. That's a different thing. Taco talk. You know, for ordering the white version, there's a lot of black side panels. I think they might have sent me the wrong one. It said white on the side. With the box.
That's all you get is white on the side.
Well, on the side of the cardboard box, it said it was the white model. I was pretty sure those panels are supposed to be white. I don't really care, but...
Okay, we have a bottom.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's these screws.
You leave the plastic on the top of the bottom.
Yeah.
Guess what?
It's staying there.
It's staying there.
Yeah.
So now we got a bottom, and
it's looking like a real thing now.
Starting to look like a case.
Or at least as real as it's gonna get.
It's actually pretty
rigid.
That's pretty damn rigid.
Yeah. Considering there's no top on it. Or sides.
Just acrylic and these freaking rails, man. Like
aluminum extrusion is the best thing ever.
You just make. I mean, you can cut these to whatever length you wanted. You could just.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. It's
drill and tap the ends, unless this just comes. No, it can't come threaded all the way through.
Honestly, you generally don't have to drill and tap them. You just use more of those nuts, and there are right angle brackets you can get that kind of sit on the inside of the extrusion in the two channels.
As opposed to throw on the.
That it's very unusual to have holes drilled into and through the extrusion.
It looks like the extrusion is hollow.
Yeah,
all the way through. So they just ran a tap into the end.
Well, they drilled it this way. Right, they drilled down into it for these holes.
No, like, because the hole, that hole keeps going. This hole.
No, but there's a hole here where a screw goes in.
Oh, yeah.
They did drill through it, but...
Gotcha.
I will notice it's not square. But...
Yeah, I've been trying to square it.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be
fine.
Be good. Okay, what we got next?
Motherboard.
Oh,
just you know.
Okay. There goes nothing.
Literally.
Is that supposed to push through or?
Yeah, that looks. Oh, there you go. It's in situ.
Yeah.
You want the magnetic one?
I need the magnetic one because this. Hopefully the screws are actually magnetic. Yeah. Otherwise, that was not happening.
Mm-mm.
Ooh. Oh, plugging in these power connectors is going to be fun. Real fun.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a not today thing, most likely.
It is possible to tighten most of the screws after you put the sides on. I think we can get to most of them still. Honestly, if it's out of square by the time we get all of the other panels on, it'll have to be square.
Yeah.
Okay. We have motherboard installed. And here's how close.
Oh.
Right to the edge on that cooler.
Yeah. All right. Next is the GPU bracket.
Where does that go?
So obviously,
Here, do you want this over there? So it's.
well, I'm trying to figure it out myself.
No, I mean like.
So it's actually in a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, Ken.
Okay, so
loops around, plugs in.
The female ends bolts to one of these, it looks like.
How does it get all the way over there?
So, well, radio silence.
It goes on the other side. It goes on the back.
Oh, it goes on the other side and uses the standoffs.
Yeah.
So it still bolts to that plate.
Okay, so this goes in.
Yeah.
First. Wait.
Well,
yeah, this one.
I probably wouldn't plug it in yet because it's going to be way less flexible.
Well, what I was thinking was you loop it.
Well, but if you
or do we need to
if you stand it up, I think if you loop it the other way, it'd be easier.
Oh wait. Okay. I was trying to just get it plugged in, so. Okay. So it's in. And
how in the heck? The mount.
Oh, is it towards the top? And wait, you wouldn't have the GPU in upside down. Wait. Huh? There's an awful lot of cable here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you need it to be that long?
So upside down?
What? Is what upside down?
This piece?
It can't be now.
That L is towards the slot of the motherboard.
Well, the thing is, it was upside down before.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it needs to be rotated 90 degrees is what I mean, I guess.
Rotated.
180 degrees.
Well, no, because we did
Cable runs between the card backplate and motherboard to the GPU card edge at top.
At the top. You're saying the GPU is upside down.
Tab over to the product.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
The case is upside down right now. So yes, this needs to go to the top.
No, the case isn't upside down. This is the bottom.
Power plug goes at the top?
I don't know, man. Maybe we put the bottom on the wrong side.
I think we did, actually. We put the bottom on the wrong side. But that's easily fixable.
Yeah.
How about we just leave the bottom on the top for a minute while we work on this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so this is the bottom right here. See the bottom? Bottom?
Yeah.
Get this power cord out of the way.
So that will go like that, I think.
Well, what does it mount to?
These standoffs, and it mounts to this plate.
Okay, so the ribbon is supposed to get tucked in like that.
And I think so, considering how much ribbon we have.
We meant to put that bottom on the top so that we can easily do this step. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the outer hole. It's the unlisted aspect is for the recording, I believe. Okay. Okay. I don't really think I can fix that in progress, but good to know.
This step probably should be done before the motherboard was installed.
Yeah.
The reason I bring that up is because now you have to get to the back of these.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, you have to get to the back of these screws.
I
mean, Ken's pulling it off without doing that, but... Or you need a really short right-angle Phillips.
Yeah, so, I mean... That looks like it's... I mean, that's not going to clear the side panel. Right?
You're right. So is it meant to go the other way? Because this is supposed to be tucked in underneath.
Mm.
And then like so. But that standoff is awfully long.
And those are the right standoffs, so they're smallest standoffs.
Going. Oh, they're showing it go that way.
Yeah, it's no real perspective. Get it?
The motherboard, back of the motherboard. Somehow, oh no, the standoffs are going towards the motherboard. But where do they have the ribbon? Oh. That's really confusing.
So,
because that's going to be super tight.
If we move one of these.
Yeah, put that there first. Actually, don't do it. Don't.
Okay.
Because we're not going to be able to screw. We need to screw this to the thing first. Because we ain't going to be able to do that later.
That's not the right screw.
Oh.
It's the smaller screws that attach the standoff to the thing.
Right here. You work on that.
Well, which way does it goes this way, right?
No. Because this needs to be in here.
Okay.
Like that. So, yeah.
Oh, someone linked the installation guide that we're looking at. That's a good idea. You can follow along at home.
We're on page 9.
Do you know where that? Oh, there's that other standoff.
It's installed the wrong way already.
Par for the course. These aren't the worst instructions in the world. They're better than I was expecting, probably, considering. But oof, that's tight.
That's a tight. Yeah. So hold on. Hold out for a second. Goes.
Give it a nice bend.
Yeah. Force the fold a little bit. Oh yeah, there's room. It definitely is. Motors. Yeah, there you go.
What?
Just 2 and 3.
Well, he doesn't have a keyboard. You have. Oh wait, no. Yeah, he does. I plugged in an extra keyboard.
He has the real keyboard.
Oh no.
Jim's taking over. Yeah.
I think that'd be merciful.
Might be. All right, so I'm gonna try to take up the slack here. There's to be room for the GPU.
Mm-hmm.
Take up the slack on this ribbon and then. Okay. Manhandling the ribbon cable.
Yeah, the front page of the Geek Store website does say learn more, but it's Leaen.
Lean.
I think that's Gaelic, right?
Lean Moore. Okay, so I guess we could put the bottom on the
bottom. On the actual bottom now.
Just do like a turn.
Right, I did that one. Yeah, I think one of the screws, that screw's a little proud, so it's getting kind of caught. Let's get this out of the way.
Oh, is it supposed to go that way?
Well, I don't think it's supposed to go on top.
Well, no, it would run along the bottom.
How would you get it along the bottom?
Oh, where does the PSU go?
Here.
So I guess that's probably...
Yeah, I think that's...
Well, you're worried about the GPU is going to be here. So
that's the next thing that goes in, so we can fit it.
Or we want the vents over here?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
What?
No, we could peel that piece of.
You really want
to? No. It's fine.
Listen, it's right here. So,
it's not going to come off still. Nope. I'm not redoing those nuts.
Okay. As you wish.
I think this is such a succinct product build guide that they should probably just like embed it on their product page.
Yeah.
It's this is the way to do it. There's no other way to assemble this case.
You want a Greek tragedy on your product page, guys? Go ahead. Here you go. They'd probably be watching it and laughing. Oh, look, those guys are putting the thing on upside down and backwards.
Those fools.
Those silly Americans.
They could just join the chat and help.
They're probably, oh no, they'd be awake.
12 hours ahead.
I mean, they're eating dinner.
Midnight.
They're eating a midnight snack. Okay, so. Are we putting the GPU in or no?
Yep.
That's next? Lord help us. I am still concerned that this was supposed to be running underneath there, but...
Yeah. It's fair. Fair concern.
Look at that. Oh.
Jim's got it.
Aha. It's fighting Jim. Dueling keyboards.
Get in the hole.
Be careful. It's those standoffs are barely suspended on, like holding on to very small holes. I should probably hold the bottom.
To get it lined up. Here, you hold it and I'll push it in.
What do I hold?
I don't know.
I can't get. I'd be able to get my hand in from there. No. Sort of. Snap. Wait. Is it back?
Oh, nope, there we go.
Okay. And then there's a little... Did the lock slide forward?
Yeah, I think so.
Ah, yes, the little cover plate. It's going to be those screws that thread right into the...
No, these aren't countersunk. They're the beefier ones.
But they're just screwing right in. Oh, that's threaded. The holes are threaded.
I didn't even know they could do that.
They threaded the holes. They're close. Yeah, that way.
Yeah.
Wants to be further down than it is. Slightly. Or are you sure these are the right screws? They're not going in the holes.
I mean, it looks like it. They're the
Hold on.
thicker ones.
Oh, yeah. It goes.
Of course, they've lost one of the dividers in the toolbox now, so that system's way less helpful.
Oh, look at this.
It's actually applying pressure.
It's actually holding the...
What?
It actually has notches. This is... Hold on. I got the answer. Let's just do that.
Yeah. No, it's not painful yet. We haven't started wiring it.
Right. It is very Django-like moment.
Fiddly, as some people might say.
It is being fiddly.
Oh.
Well, that seems to be putting, in my opinion, excessive. They really do make this hold the GPU pretty well, actually. Where's that screw?
Mm-hmm.
It's fiddly, but it does fit correctly once everything is lined up. It's just that you have to get like 4 things lined up at the same time. Do not cross thread. Do not. Okay, there you go. I mean, that's
more or less difficult than building a regular small form factor case.
That's nicely done.
Actually. I mean, honestly, I've never built one before. I've built in one, but I've never built a case.
I mean, that's holding the GPU pretty well.
Yeah.
Slide this lock. Or did it slide?
I think it engaged.
I think it's trying to engage. Almost in enough. Oh, my good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you gotta try to do a power supply.
Yeah. Try being in the operative word.
That shot dark.
It's a lot of black. Like my soul.
Yeah. That's a good question.
I believe it's the scroll wheel next to the shutter button.
Yep. There you go. You can let it blow out the other parts as long as the... Yeah. That's probably good.
Yeah, chat's mentioning how custom PCB cables would be nice. Yeah,
It is going to get messy.
Yeah. Somewhere we had like shorter length
there will be a
cables for this, but
I do see a small pocket of space where we should be able to bundle stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. It's going to... Dang. Yeah, because if the power supply is going where I think it's going to go, it's going to be kind of tight in here.
Yep. Silverstone does have a short kit, and I'm pretty sure we have one around somewhere. I'm not sure if it's compatible with this specific power supply, and I could not find it.
It is an impressively, like I wonder if you could fit like an FTW3 in here.
I mean, there's plenty of GPU length.
Yeah, like there's more length. There's some height. You got probably almost an inch above the bracket, the top of the bracket.
Yeah, true. The height,
vertical height.
Yeah,
and then you've got another good couple of inches, probably. You know, in length, on top of the founder's card. Pretty decent sized GPU can go in there. Man, I might put one of these on my desk. So they have those standoffs?
Yeah. I haven't really thought through the geometry of how this is going to work, but because you don't need to access the back of the power supply because you have that extension cable. So
there's holes on the bottom here, though. What are those for?
Oh, there's an SSD tray that sits on that side.
Okay. Well, we don't need that.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because that would make it even tighter in a place that we don't really want it to be super tight.
Well, it would contribute to the rigidity of the case, but...
So this is actually, the power supply is relocated to the front of the case.
Yeah.
So
it goes like that.
With this connector, okay, so this connector has to snake up and over the top.
Yeah, so
it holds on to the top. It holds onto the top plate.
Oof.
Is it that way or is it the other way around?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it holds on to the...
Oh, because this will have to... Wait, that means this has to be... It has to be inset into the... Oh, man, how the heck? Because the standoffs are...
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, this needs to be the other way around. Because that's not gonna fit that way.
I think we need, like... So
wow, man.
There's standoff screw to the top panel.
Where on the top panel?
I think they might just, I don't know. I think they might just be going through some of these perforations. No.
It kind of needs to be offset this way, otherwise it won't clear the GPU.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, you found them.
Yeah.
Right, so let me see this top panel. See if this lines up the way that... Yeah. That way. Okay, that makes sense. It just barely fits in that pocket. Man, that is a tight fit. I wish those standoffs weren't that long, because the longer those are, the less room you have to snake all the power cables around on the bottom. So this thing loops the power cable loops all the way around. Oh, there's
got that notch.
There's a notch. Okay. Oh man.
Yeah, thank you.
So that is super wow. Actually, you need to like go through the hole around. Plugged in. Let's make sure this is turned on. And stays turned on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it needs to like...
I'm debating if I should...
go around, otherwise it won't clear the standoff going around the other way.
I feel like I should probably attach the cables to the modular ends.
Yes, we definitely need to attach the cables. Because it's going to sit in there like that. Man, that's definitely a tight fit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's uncorkscrew it a little. We're going to need an 8-pin, the ATX, and then the 2 GPU 8-pins. This is going to be a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Don't be a dummy, Ken.
Yeah, it's color coded.
Yeah.
Sleeved cables would make the routing a little easier. Even the bending a little easier. And custom length cables, because these are like desktop.
And I'm gonna have to like plug this SATA in just so I have it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want to go back in there. Like I'm just gonna keep it like
tucked in.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it wrapped up.
Okay. So what's annoying is this kind of needs to be screwed to the top and then dropped in. I mean, we could probably work around it. Actually, we need to twist tie off of this guy so we can.
Okay.
So just for the time being.
At least that 24 pin is pretty short. Like, I mean, it's an SFX-L power supply. They should give you short cables.
All right, so we're gonna feed these guys in, and we're gonna fold them generally in the direction they need to go, and then this SATA one is gonna be tucked under.
Carrie, can you rotate a little bit, get in a little more in the shot?
All right, so we do this. What do we got? Is that the?
It's that CPU.
CPU power. Wow.
Oh God.
Yeah. Right? Okay, so
folks, if you're planning on building a small form factor system, actually plan it beforehand.
Well, I mean,
we should have had that plugged into the motherboard when we had the motherboard out.
We should have, but it's not horrible.
Well, surprising.
I'm gonna tuck this in as much as we possibly can. Doesn't look like crap. Not that you can really see through the frosted glass, but I don't want to block this.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the opening on the bottom actually open. So, next, ATX. Hold on, let me get this out of the way for a second. Oh, which way do we want to go for that? We could probably go around the other way.
Yeah.
So PCIe power could probably go this way.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually will make things a little bit easier for our ATX power.
Which we need like a 3-inch cable instead of the 12 inches we have.
Yeah, we do not need this much cable. But if we tuck it back this way, get back. I mean, it is tight, but it's not unworkable.
They're asking about the front panel connectors.
Front panel connectors.
It only has USB 3 and a power button. So, won't be the worst thing in the world.
Close. There it went. That's plugged in. We'll fold it over.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the problem is we need to go in by another inch.
I know.
And that's just not going to do it unless I fold these cables a different way. Yeah.
I mean, well, I kind of think you could rest the SATA up here to give you a little more room to smush.
Room to smush.
It's the name of my autobiography.
So the problem is that these power connectors are like flat ribbons.
Yeah, can't exactly bend them to an angle.
Yeah, and so we're trying to work them around so that there's room, but then they're just making a spot that doesn't want to.
Oh. So, can you...
If you just run that over the face of the power supply.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like if we kind of make a power supply shaped loop. I don't think there's enough cable for that actually.
Here's the thing. This sits against the back, so that's actually how much room we have. That is super big. What else are we hitting? Holding over.
It's a 24 pin.
Push it around that way and flatten it. And then this guy comes. Nope, there's not room to fit that way. So,
yeah.
No.
Zen and the art of mini ITX PC building.
Yeah, basically.
Does anyone have a contact at Cable Mod that could ship us a set of custom length cables real quick?
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's it right there.
Yeah, actually. What's the graphics card?
Make sure that
Yeah, I'm not even...
Rotate this and see if... oh, it's got to come up and around.
Well, yeah.
Well, you're going to have room.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Plugging those in.
It is definitely cramped quarters. It's doable with ribbons, but you got to be patient.
Unfortunately, I feel like all of these SFX power supplies have flat ribbons. So I don't know if there's
I think they do.
a specific reason for that or not. Now, like I said, I know Silverstone sells short cable kits for these SFX power supplies.
That's screw bottomed, but
Listen, I'm not sure it's going anywhere, so...
okay. So problem with these SATA connectors is the side might not go on where they're sitting.
You can just pull the SATA power connector out.
Oh, no, I can't.
Fair.
No, not now that it's in. Actually, it might just barely fit.
Yeah.
It's just that it's probably going to get pressed up against. Problem. Actually, part of our problem is that the cable's trying to come. Look at this. The cable's trying to come out of there, and there's not meant to
There's
be.
not any room.
There's not meant to be a gap there. Like they want you to go out the back.
Yeah.
So we can have the SATA power cables there. We just need to route them this way.
Yeah, you can pull them along the side.
And then they can tuck in on the back.
Yeah, there's an amazing amount of clearance on this side.
And where are the screws that are meant to hold this to the top?
They're more of the nut situation.
No, not those.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to do. Oh Jesus. So you're gonna have the rail nuts in this piece.
Mm-hmm.
Slide it in, and then line up those screws for the power supply.
Yeah. Well,
So there's that.
yeah. This isn't great.
I just fold them down, yeah. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like we can shove that ultimately.
Yeah. Again, those ribbons not cooperating nicely, but there's sort of enough room.
Yeah.
You work on that, and I'll put these.
I had the 4 screws for the power supply here. These black screws.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh look, they countersunk the screw holes on the top.
What kind?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Nice
really
of
shouldn't
them.
have plugged in that SATA.
There's room in the back.
Actually, you know where there's room is underneath the GPU.
Well, there you go.
Got room for days.
I think the idea is that the SATA would loop around
Yeah.
and come back in that hole, plug into the back of the drives. So it would work. It's just my recommendation. Go
M.2.
M.2.
It's great.
And you may have said it earlier, but chat wants to know what's your plan for this system.
I don't know.
He's doing a review.
Yeah.
He's gonna
The
review
point
it.
is a case review. I mean, honestly,
you're showing folks how the sausage is made. Then.
yeah. Honestly, the ideal end goal was my personal machine at home. Going with something a little smaller to sit on my desk because right now I have a fairly big tower on there. So I like the idea of a small form factor system. Obviously, I'd have to swap out the GPU because this is not my GPU. That's a review sampled 20 Ti. But actually, the GPU would be the easiest thing to swap in this.
Thank goodness.
Now, how's the? Because it's kind of hard to see here. How's the thickness? Would it be able to fit one of those like 2.5 slot monster 2080 Ti's?
No, when you're limited to 2 slot, there's maybe 5 millimeters of additional past this card. Yeah, the power supply is a little too tall, I think.
What is hitting? Well, just the ribbons
Yeah.
are hitting.
Let's just remind folks what the hardware is we're putting in this thing.
Yeah, so it's a Core i7 8086K with Asus B360i Strix motherboard, a Crucial P1 500 gig M.2 SSD.
I think it's the 1 terabyte.
No, I think it was the 500 gig. Well, regardless.
One of those.
The RTX 2080 Ti Founders Edition, a Silverstone 500 watt SFX L power supply, and a Noctua L9 65 cooler, I believe. So a lot of high-end hardware in that very compact spot. You certainly have to work at it, though. Although that being said, this has been, 2 hours so far? And it took us a little while to get into it. It's not a bad project. 2 people, it's obviously useful, as Allyn does all of the assembly.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe make sure you have a small child on hand to be able to reach.
If you do not have an Allyn available.
Hold on. Oh, man.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily think a lot of these components are ever coming out of this case.
Not going to get that SSD back, am I?
Nah, I think we can get at the SSD.
That's the key, Ken. Build your personal system.
Yeah.
Put all the best
good stuff in there,
and then go,
like,
we can't
I'm not a fool,
open it.
Jim. Trying to debate if you could get that graphics card out without taking off the top, and I think you can.
Even if you need to take the top off, it's not horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's in the hole.
Okay, we're skipping the 2.5-inch bracket.
Yes, thank God. M.2 SSDs.
So now it's
the
the
power cable is tucked in. That's tucked in. The ribbon is in there. Good thing this doesn't have a clear side panel, or does it?
No.
Are those the protective sheets?
Well, that panel is this one. That's the front of the case.
Oh no, I'm talking.
I mean, that's surprisingly not ugly for what we're doing.
True. Kind of tucked out of the way. Oh, there's another one of those sheets on here.
Mm. It does have a pretty cool metal power button. It's got a nice clicky tactile feel.
Satisfying.
Are you finding the instructions pretty easy?
They're better than I expected. I mean, there's not really any text. It's like we've been referring to IKEA style instructions, but
Are we trying to connect this to the motherboard?
well, that motherboard should have one of those adapters at least, so we won't have to connect the individual cables. Where's the USB 3 header on that board?
I'm looking. Wait, there.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Again, planning would have been smart on our part.
I mean, you know, just wing it. I think that's the front panel header.
Yeah, so
We need some operating room heartbeat sounds going on now. How are you trying to?
peel off.
You already screwed that on.
Yeah, I know. Luckily, this stuff rips. Actually, I can back it off. Just hand tape. Can you find the motherboard box and see if you can locate that header adapter?
Let's see here. No. No. No.
Because I don't know for sure that the ITX ones come with those, but I assumed.
Give us twist ties. Is not header adapter. Give us an antenna. More screws. Data cables.
Really? I don't think I've seen an Asus motherboard in the last 6 years or so that hasn't come with one of those.
Oh no.
Strange. Well,
I think that's the header though. It doesn't. It's not the full header. It's the.
Yeah. Can you see the silk screen? We're gonna need to pull out the manual.
I can see the silk screen. Hold on.
Oh, I can read it fine, you old man. Mm-hmm.
Oh, now he's done it. Turn the light on.
Hold on. I have to. No, that light's been dead for a long time.
Yeah.
Flip down the extra magnification.
Give me a hand. Need some light.
Do I need these just to do that?
Aha. Luckily, there are only 3 to plug in.
But are they the right polarity?
Yeah.
Now, how do you know?
It's marked on both sides in this case. Sometimes it isn't.
The cables were actually marked?
Yeah.
No way.
So let's attach these to the front panel.
Hold on, I'm removing plastic.
Mm.
Attach those to the front panel. There's plastic when you pull off of here.
Well, we're attaching the inside currently. Let me find the right screws. I believe it's these countersunk ones yet again.
That's just evil.
The USB ports are facing 2 different directions. It's difficult to see.
No, I can flip it.
Oh.
I was just, trying to hook you up.
It's like malevolent or chaotic neutral.
Yes, just have the USB ports facing opposite directions.
Yeah.
Those are the right ones?
If they go through, they are.
I mean, the hole's kind of tight is the problem.
Tell me about it.
Let's see here. Do they thread into this?
Are we building a watch? It seems like it sometimes. These acrylic pieces. Oh, they're probably for mounting the SSDs.
I'm gonna need another screwdriver. I need the plastic is kind of tight here, so I kind of have to push these through the.
Mm-hmm.
There it goes.
How'd you hear about this case, Ken?
The SFF PC subreddit. I've been lurking there for a while, and they've been obviously a really positive influence.
Is your mic on, Jim?
Yes.
Okay.
I figured that much out.
Well, that's Jim.
Honestly, though, it is a really cool community. There's a lot of cool builds and stuff like this you can find out about. If you're interested in building a small form factor PC, you can look at other people's builds and what actually works well. And people do detailed build logs and kind of document what went wrong, which I guess this is a video version or one of those.
I mean, the worst thing that's happened has basically been like, oh, that panel was upside down.
Yeah.
So it hasn't really been.
Overall, I think it's gone a little smoother than I thought.
Could have been worse.
Yeah.
A little tedious. It's a little time consuming.
But aren't the best things in life.
Basically. I don't know.
Yeah, so the SSD tray would mount directly in front of that intake fan on the power supply.
Yeah. So ports are in.
Yeah, we have to route the USB 3 header in, and then...
Oh, you're already routed? Okay.
Incoming call.
Nobody loves you.
Nobody actually gets phone calls that matters these days. It's just all spam.
Okay, so. Yeah, you probably should have routed that before you installed the power supply. Just,
Yeah.
See, the thing is, it's going to look like crap if this is a clear. There's no room to even support
Routing.
nice routing here is the problem.
No.
I mean,
You guys did a post test, right?
No.
Before you routed and got everything all crammed in there?
No, I've never tested this hardware together.
Oh, good.
Nope.
Again, don't do as we do. Do as we say.
Do as we say, not as
And
we
you
do.
should absolutely
Actually,
have tested this hardware outside of the case.
Actually, here we go. Come on. Get in there.
I'm sure I'll find some weird issue that I'll have to tear it back apart.
Hold on, I might be able to route this.
Adjust.
Might be able to route this.
The other way.
Yeah, good freaking luck. But it's possible.
Yes, this form factor is very similar to the Ncase M1, but it's a heck of a lot cheaper considering that case is made out of, like metal and stuff.
All right.
Seen Allyn deal with enough wiring harnesses and enough cars to know that he's the man for the job.
What? This wire is supposed to go through this impossible place?
Ken, what's the price on that case again?
It's $100, including the
$100.
shipped, including the PCIe ribbon
Great.
cable, which is
So this power button thing
sticks out.
sticks out some, and it sticks right into the place where we were using to store all of our ribbons. However, now that the power supply is installed and everything is squished,
You can manhandle
I
it.
can just squish the ribbons accordingly. Man. Yes, this is not a happy situation here. So yes, the space in the front underneath the power supply is actually meant to house something. Just so we're aware. Man, this is... Oh, and I gotta get the stupid little screw things with the...
What? No, you don't.
No?
These just go through. There
Oh,
should be holes
they're
in the
threaded.
extrusion because it's the
Okay.
ends.
Thank goodness. Because that would make baby Jesus cry. Okay, so we're gonna manhandle some more cables here in the hopes that this fits. It looks like it's gonna.
Could easily fit this PC into like a carry-on
That is true.
if you needed to for some reason.
So this is not gonna be happy about it, but I think it's gonna work. Okay, quick.
Just get a bunch of fingerprints on this acrylic.
Quick, give me the screws before this thing spontaneously combusts.
Oh, so it's like putting together any PC. You got to hold on the panel while you jam in the cables.
Sorry, we're not showing the camera here, but like this is a delicate operation that we need facing us while we do it. Oh, hey, this thing that's not square is becoming square. Now that we're attaching the front panel.
You know?
Okay, so
It's not bad. The last step is...
so there's the front. I think it still has the protective thing on there, so it'll be glossier later.
Last step is these two side panels with the wing nut set up.
Are they both the same?
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure?
Yes. They're not countersunk, so they aren't directional.
Hold on, let me try to cable manage this slightly.
Such a perfectionist.
Well, I mean, it's not bad considering how jammed in there everything is.
I am pretty damn impressed with the cable management.
You know, so that's everything's jammed underneath the power supply, which is actually hidden by a plate that they.
Yeah.
Like that, there's a plate there on purpose.
Yeah.
No, like
Well,
this.
yeah, and like
Oh, and that goes
that's
there
how
too.
the SSD bracket would go on.
Oh, well, yeah. If you had, probably better just to leave that off in this particular build because.
Yeah. I mean, we get the additional airflow, and I don't need it.
And then
So storage.
that's the other side, and there's not really, you know, there's some cables at the rear, but
And you could even tuck that
I mean,
one
we
up
could
there.
honestly this whole, you know, chunk of stuff. Most of this is just the SATA cable that we
We
still had
aren't
installed
using, but
that we're not using. So like, and honestly, this can still be kind of tucked in a little bit. That's not too bad.
get that acrylic nice and fingerprinty.
Yeah, I could sneak a zip tie in there, but
It's not super permanent yet, so.
I will note for the record that all of these screws are holding the CPU cooler to the motherboard.
All of the screws are holding what?
Yes, all of them. There's 4, not 3.
Oh,
Just pointing that out.
novel.
I mean, that looks pretty good. I mean, and for those who don't know, I mean, neither of you guys are cable management.
No, we don't usually care about
that's
cable
the thing
management.
with small form factor cases. You have to cable manage them, or you can't fit the stuff
Yeah,
in.
right.
So it does force you.
Despite
kinda have
your
to.
lack of skill, it still looks pretty good.
The tightest thing there was this. Hold on, let me get a tool. It's really hard to see even on the camera, but the SATA power connector, or not the SATA, the ATX connector, had to run like in this really tight pinch underneath, and it tucks in that way underneath the power supply. Again, if it was like sleeve cabling, you know, it is doable with these ribbons now that we've done it. Like it's not.
Can confirm is doable.
It's not impossible. It's just you might have to get creative with like thinking ahead on like, okay, the ribbons need to fold over this many times to be able to make all the bends.
Yeah.
And so you might need to like kind of route them.
Yeah. But if you spend $60, get a nice set of sleeved cables at the correct lengths too. That would really help.
That's like $60, really? Only just for that?
You know, when I bought a cable mod set for a full ATX EITX build, so it was a full set of cables. I think it was about 100.
Yeah.
So I imagine just a couple cables, and you like at Cable Mod and other sites, you can buy just the cables you need.
Absolutely.
And they cut them to the right lengths for you. You know, with that you could make it real nice.
Mm-hmm. And there are probably other SFX options that have shorter included cables in general.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Corsair just launched their 600 watt platinum SFX L power supply.
There was a chip. Is that a chip in the acrylic? That was there even before we put the screw in.
Yeah.
Looks like there was a chip from one of the where they were drilling the holes during manufacture, but it's really tiny.
And so there's that one. You wanna do the honors?
Just heard a screw.
Yeah.
We need to get one of those. What are they called? The Noctua Redux.
Yeah.
Fans, so the color scheme matches a little better.
So dusty.
Get the.
I don't have a microfiber cloth within reach.
Hold on.
It's fine. That's actually easy enough to take off because it just slides in. Yeah. The fan color is kind of obnoxious, but if you're an enthusiast, then you might be into the whole showing off your Noctuas thing. I don't think it looks too bad.
I've gotten used to looking at Noctua and seeing the contrast as a mark of quality.
Yeah. Someone should start making shitty brown fans.
I'm sure if you went on Alibaba or something, you'd find.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, in my own personal rig at home, I switched out the Noctuas for Be Quiet black fans, and they are performing very well. I didn't do anything scientific to really compare down to the decibel or down to the degree, but they keep it cool and they're quieter and they blend into the case better.
Yeah. People are asking about fan mounting positions in this case. I don't particularly see any.
Yeah, the cables are all up against the grills.
I mean, you can maybe get a slimline fan in the bottom to exhaust.
You would need sleeved cabling because right now there's a ribbon, the 12 volt to the motherboard ribbon is that's almost like the side's not even on.
Still not a fan of the name and the side.
So look at that, so now that everything's installed, there's maybe like 3 millimeters between the top of that fan and the glass.
Yeah. I don't think it will be a big issue.
It's just the hole could be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure these acrylic side panels are going to get replaced with at least new acrylic with a different pattern in them. Nope. The text goes other way.
You totally.
Oh. I did it reverse. Of course, the last thing.
Here. Fingerprint that up some more.
I was just so ready to be done. I'm trying to think of how expensive this build is. Well, besides the 2080 Ti, which, you know, rockets it. But beyond that, it's, I don't know, without the GPU, it'd probably be close to about $1,000, maybe like 1,200. I think there's one on the top too, still. This is a 8086K, not the 9900K, because we don't have a spare one of those, and you know, this is not coming apart for quite a while after all this effort.
Not
We
bad.
did buy our 8086K though, so I don't feel bad about using it. That's a pretty good looking case.
Yeah.
It looks better than the product photos, I think.
All right. So
Hey, I did it.
doo-doo.
Yeah, sorry to the chat about the
And?
title of the stream. We've recently discovered we don't understand how YouTube works.
And
Yeah, no, I did it backwards again somehow.
Again,
How? How did I switched it.
I was holding it up to read Geek the first time, and it was upside down.
I don't know, man.
Okay, I'm doing it this time.
Yeah, the 2070 9900K was supposed to refer to like the Q&A because those were the big launches this week in the title, but
We're at the last panel, Ken.
I ended up not doing a whole lot of Q&A because, you know, this took a lot of attention. We didn't see a whole lot of questions come through, but yeah. Can't believe I did that again.
You had one job. Watch me do it backwards now.
We do not provide the installation guide with hard copy. Please check this link for electronic installation guide. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't notice there was no actual installation instructions in the box. It's probably for the best. I think they'll probably
they're
update
updating it.
them. Yeah. I think this one has an update date of the 17th, so Wednesday.
Wonder if people have taken these acrylic panels and done like that ceramic coating on them.
Seems like a bit overkill.
No, it would like, because it's really easy to scratch these.
Yeah.
And it would, it would be relatively little effort, but it would increase the scratch resistance by a lot. Because you're basically putting like a layer of glass on top of the...
Honestly, though, place those two side panels with, you wouldn't want to do tempered glass because then you'd have no vent.
Yeah. And that's kind of a pain in the butt to add a vent to,
Yeah.
lest you risk shattering the whole panel. Oh, it's the right way. Okay. I thought I did it upside down again. I honestly thought I just did that. I was looking at it like, seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously. Geek.
Geek.
I mean, yeah.
It's It's fine. It's not a deal breaker, but it's not great. And I mean, acrylic is so easy to get custom panels for. Whether someone with a laser, or I mean, you could probably get someone off Etsy to laser cut you acrylic panels to this specification, because it's not a very complicated design. It's a rectangle with 4 holes in it, and then whatever else you want to put in it.
Yeah, I mean the corners are rounded, but like
they don't need to be even.
No, they don't need to be.
Like,
well, you wouldn't. It'd be like rotate, or rotate, rotate. These things are pretty cool.
Yeah, and those are like not very good ones. I mean, when I did robotics at UC, we built a lot of stuff out of the like 80 mil by 20 mil aluminum extrusion.
Now
It's just easy to prototype. I mean, that metal table we have is built out of that extrusion.
Yeah.
That lab table.
All right. All right.
Well,
there it goes.
I think that about wraps it up. About, we'll say, somewhere between 2 and 2.5 hours later from when we actually started,
2
got the stream in a
later.
position and everything.
I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself there, Ken. We don't know if this thing works yet.
True.
I guess we should probably plug it in, huh?
Super, super ballsy here, actually, because we're completely like.
All right.
assembling this
I
thing.
think I have an HDMI back here.
One does not want to rotate all the way, but it is grabbing, so I'm just going to do it. Now this one doesn't want to rotate all the way.
You make a good point. Let's try to plug it in.
Ever see a small form factor PC light on fire?
Yeah, actually. I mean, not live, not in person,
Well,
videos.
Might as well do it live. I mean, that's actually pretty solid now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
basically like a big brick.
Fire extinguisher nearby. Come on. Who do you think we are?
Okay.
Plug that power in down there.
Yeah, I got to plug this in.
Where's the button?
Button to do the stuff. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta plug this in. Power supply switch, I think, is on. I think it's still on.
It better be.
Hopefully it didn't get flipped off by routing cables around it and stuff.
So,
You gotta
place your bets. I mean, it will just boot the.
We
press
need to
F1
get a
into
shot of
BIOS
the system
screen.
powering up there from the window. So.
I don't know.
Did you just hit the button?
I thought I hit the button. Hope you plugged those headers in right.
I'm going to go with apparently not.
Oh, we need the sound effect from The Price is Right when they lose.
Boom, boom, boom. Wow. This side panel's coming off. Can you see the, here, look, it's down here.
Oh, it's off.
Oh, the header. Oh, man.
The header's just bent like a couple of degrees and it's just off
from
the
when
connector.
From when we were doing like the cable routing, it
Yeah.
pulled the, dang it. Hold on. It just pulled it slightly.
That's why you don't put the side panel.
Oh, man. So you're telling me possibly
We could have had it
this thing might have just worked if
Well.
not for a silly power connector header.
like halfway off the
power
connector.
switch header.
You guys want me to call The Verge and see if they have any suggestions for us?
Any helpful hints?
Yeah.
Okay.
They seem like a trustworthy publication.
Those on right?
I can't see.
Just one of them seems odd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's more slack when it's the single pin one.
Oh, okay.
Hit the button now.
Still nothing.
Cool.
Plugged in all the way? Yeah. All right.
Is the strip that you're plugged into connected to power?
I believe so. Need a light.
Yes. Hold on, here it is.
I mean, the other two are the LEDs, so it wouldn't matter if those were connected.
Power button.
Is there a physical button on the board you can reach?
No.
Reset's there. Power button's there. Power LED's there.
Yeah, I think it's probably on the power supply side. And if you can look in and see.
See if the switch on the power supply got flipped off, which is
With
entirely
buy
possible.
a ribbon cable.
It is entirely possible because there is a that's off.
My
That's on.
orbit of trash is expanding.
So are you sure that those two cables are for the power button, huh?
You know, not at this point.
I'm pulling them out. That was the power switch.
I mean, the last thing would be if the extension is
Power switch.
plugged in.
That should be the power switch. What's that extra 4-pin header above that?
I don't know. RGB strip, maybe.
From the chat, when you need jeweler's tools to build a gaming PC,
Basically, yeah.
your SFF has gone too far.
I mean, that's in. ATX is in. The only other possibility is maybe the ATX connector got pulled out of the bottom of the power supply.
Let me check the power strip. Plug it in a different spot.
Oh, okay.
Did you try the power button?
That's disconnected. But I'm shorting the pins, and I got nothing. Let's double check here. Power button.
Screw it, build it smaller.
Power LED. Hard drive LED.
I'd like to reiterate the importance of bench testing your components first,
Yeah, damn you, Jim.
because it could be literally anything.
You know, Jim, you jinxed it when you said that. This would have worked.
Possibly.
All right. Well, there's only like either that power supply connector came out, which I'm probably better off pulling the bottom off than the top
Mm-hmm.
to check.
Of course, you have to pull the front off.
There's some kind of sad joke here about how many hardware experts does it take to complete a build?
Yeah.
Too many.
I don't think we have to pull the front off.
How are you going to slide this panel off?
You don't have to.
It's going to completely unscrew it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. It is my fault. I was busy earlier when they started, so if I had been here, I would have made sure they
I've had the good advice.
used best practices for component assembly.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look at the...
Boy, wonder why it doesn't work, Jim.
There's just a bunch of crap jammed in the bottom. Is it still in? I mean, it looks like it's all plugged in. Wonder what the deal is.
At this point, you'd probably check ATX power supply or ATX power connector to the board.
That's in. It's right here.
Okay.
And there's not really a lot that can be
That's the
that's
the 8086. So pull the GPU and test onto internal graphics.
it's not even trying to power.
Eh.
So
Yeah, and we verified that the power strip is turned on.
it's plugged in.
It's in the on position.
It's in the same strip that like that laptop's plugged into.
Okay.
All right, so Ken's got the meter.
Yeah. I don't know what
That
connector is.
That means business.
You know your way around a SATA connector, Alan?
I wouldn't go for the SATA connector. I don't think SATA connector got a standby power. I don't think we could fit those leads in there anyway.
Yeah.
I can try to pull. Oh Jesus!
Just to answer the questions in the chat. No,
could
we
pull it
didn't
from the
test
other
any
leads.
components.
Well, I guess you don't know
except the GPU. The GPU we tested during our RTX roundup, but nothing else in this build I think has been tested prior to assembly here.
So, I mean, the power supply came from Lee, who reviewed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it should be good, but it was in the back in a grouping of power supplies that Lee's reviewed over the years. It's not a new out-of-box DOA thing if it is dead, but...
He does get in there and open those up for his reviews, so maybe there's...
What are the pins that you short on an ATX connector to force the system on?
well, I usually look at the color coding.
Is it 4 to 6?
Uh,
Think back to your water cooling days. The chat forgot. I need a paperclip.
Use your tongue.
My tongue is not forked. Now we really need the operating room sounds.
You got some of those, little stick-on power buttons, right?
Stick on.
Like plug-in power buttons, those little tiny ones.
Oh, well, I mean, I was shorting the pins right here. So, like, it's that. You got an ATX connector pin out? Ah.
yep, I just went to take a photo of the GN mod mat.
Oh, yes. We should
Which
just,
has
we
the
should
pin
just be
out.
doing this on the mod mat.
Absolutely.
Um,
Would be well advised.
That
Nobody
would've been-
tell Steve what happened here today.
That would have made more sense. All right, so hold on. Where is the extender piece? Including the extender piece
Mm-hmm.
on the GN mod
Yeah, because 24. So 22 plus 2,
mat?
or
24,
20
got
plus
it,
4.
Got it. Problem is,
You just look at the dead one to figure out what position you're at.
I was trying to like. Okay, so I'm okay. There's the tab. .3 volt.
I guess you need something to bridge it with.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The paperclip.
Got a twist tie.
I was gonna look for. Okay, so there's the power supply on 16. I don't remember that as being.
It is.
So it's 16 till. What do you use?
To
for-
ground.
To ground.
One of the grounds next to it.
Okay.
I have bridged one recently. It's just been labeled, so I knew. Thank you. That it was green to black. Also not plugged in currently.
We're not.
No.
Gotta fix that. Otherwise, it definitely won't turn on.
I was trying to practice some amount of safety.
Turn on its own now with like nothing plugged in.
That would be strange.
Would we?
Nothing? What's that mean? How can you tell?
Is this
What would turn on?
the GPU?
How would... I guess?
The fan. Not
No.
the fan.
Here.
Good point.
I mean,
Where's
I guess the GPU might...
Where's the standby?
5-volt standby.
Yeah.
9.
5 volt standby to ground.
9. Right there, right?
Yes.
DC.
For ground.
Or from the bottom on the left-hand side.
Thing.
Let's try it. I don't know.
Hold on. AC. Okay, yes. Get AC. Just making sure, you know,
Yeah.
stranger things have happened.
No, yeah.
Okay. Back to DC.
I think this power supply's dead.
Power supply might be dead. Really disappointing. 5-volt standby line. Wait. Go across, you know. Nothing.
We
Well.
know the switch is engaged on the power supply.
Yeah, although I can try and flip it the other way and see what happens if the off means on and the on means off.
That would be strange.
Kind of funny.
But not like funny in a haha way.
Nope.
But
Now
Stress Out Cat says it's not the first time they've seen one of these be DOA. But again, this is a power supply that's been reviewed.
Yeah.
So it should be known good.
So now the switch is in the supposedly off position.
Are we sure the cable set is the correct one for that unit?
Yeah.
It was in the box.
Yeah.
That was definitely like off. Now it's on.
Yeah.
Well,
The only other thing would be the extension plug into the power supply. But
oh, that's true. That would be a shame if that was a problem. But
yeah.
you know what? The way we had to contort that kind of wouldn't surprise me.
Can you take the bottom off and plug the main power cable right into the?
Well, that's up top, which is what we're checking now.
Okay, yeah, we can. With the top off, we can. Funny story. Even if we bench tested all this stuff, we probably would not have bench tested that cable.
No. Don't
know what I mean?
think it's the cable. But
Well, either the cable or the power supply.
yeah, one of those seems more likely. Considering that it's just copper.
Try to get those to let go, but
Pretty on there.
I might just have to fish them.
Fishing back out of the rail.
Oh, you know why it's not popping up?
Is the power supply screwed in?
Yeah.
Well, at least we know the power supply is not going to go anywhere when you unscrew it.
It's in there pretty well.
It has nowhere to go.
Stuff was rotating.
Well, yeah.
What?
No, that was in there.
It looks like it's in there.
Nope.
You're kidding. Did that work itself back out?
I don't think it was in there. I mean, you can check on the ATX connector now.
Oh my god. Hold on. I'm just going to plug the ATX connector back in.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently the manhandling managed to
I will
pull...
plug in video in case it does manage to post.
Hold on.
Kind of cart before the horse, though.
Well, it ain't going to post if this ain't plugged in,
Really?
which is going to be a little bit trickier now that... Now this was plugged in before the power supply was plugged in. are inserted. Now we're trying to get this to line up, go into a very narrow slot.
We just really needed some drama in this build.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
actually knew what we were doing the entire time.
Yes.
You know how to troubleshoot it.
It was like Storage Wars. It was all.
It's plant.
Oh, the LEDs just turned on.
Yeah. Yeah, I see the RGBs. Actually, that would have been a really good indication
It's true.
that there are RGB LEDs on this board. Cap.
Gap somewhere because the connector, the ATX connector hasn't seated all the way.
I wanted to give people. Oh, don't.
You know, that's how we roll.
Well, you had something non-conductive to push on that connector with.
So just jam into the power connector with?
Jam into the ATX power connector.
Why not? Okay, yeah, that clicked in. Now we can try to route this.
Well, I mean,
And-
just is the power button connected?
Now we can just do this.
Yeah. It's alive.
Well, let's see.
No, it is alive.
Fan kicked on.
Yeah.
Oh, look. So we were foiled by.
Yeah! Hoisted by our own petard.
All right, so let's try and plug in the rest of the header here.
Yeah, it's Texas CPU, 16 gigs of RAM, the storage device.
Silly power connector. So I don't know if you can get it on the video. Switch to the.
Oh.
That is definitely the wrong one. But yeah, so the power connector is basically just jammed in the top of here, and then we were trying to work the front panel connectors and the USB 3 and everything, and we're trying to work that past that, and apparently one of them caught it and pulled it out of the power supply. So yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not the most unexpected thing in the world. I'm glad
How do you even manage to get those to go in?
I got skin in the hands. You wanna-
Yay, the front panel.
The LEDs worked.
Gonna get the power switch connected.
Should be the easier one.
Maybe.
Closest open knife I've been keeping on the table.
Yes, I know this is a big metal pair of pliers and it's a powered on system.
I mean, it could not be a powered on system.
Trained professional, do not try this at home. Like these don't get any tighter because they're broken.
Just
LEDs are still on.
capacitance. It won't kill you, probably. Is this going to be an 8-hour build? No, we're done.
So watch it be 8 hours just to get this connector in.
You want me to get at it?
I've almost got it. It's just I need more. I need white is the problem. Where's the? I'm like putting myself in the shade here.
See, as we discussed in the podcast, always have a flashlight.
Yes, you always need a flashlight. That really is. Here, Ken. How about it? No, I'll hold the flashlight because you're gonna need digits. Problem is trying to twist it and get it to.
I got skinny fingers.
Okay, so now
I don't. You don't need to plug it back in.
I want to make sure the power button works.
Just hit it. Hey!
Yay.
It's less exciting the second time.
Okay. Now,
Oh, now just cable management again.
yes, now we have to try to tuck these random things in, and we have to do it without accidentally pulling that connector out again.
Yeah.
Guess we could do the
Should probably do the top.
top first.
Yeah.
And the bottom?
Yeah, because we need to
'Cause
mount it to the
'cause
top.
I'm going to need to push this up and down
Yeah.
to get it to... Oh, man. What a pain. How did we even... Wow, that really is... That's what probably pulled it out, just messing with the PCIe
Yeah.
and everything. Okay. So,
All the nuts still on there.
they're all still in there. We'll see if we can get this to cooperate.
Ah, nuts.
PCIe power connector out of the way.
So what's the name of this video, chat, when we post it in its full length and girth?
In its full glory.
You know, the stream was not planned. The box just arrived, and we said, well, I said, hey, you know what we should do?
Ken had that wild idea last night. Hey, let's do it. Let's just do a stream tomorrow.
Well, so while Allyn is trying to reassemble that, does anyone have any questions about the 9900K, the RTX cards? Because you're looking, well, now you're looking at the man who did all the work on those reviews. So he's the one to ask.
Yep. Someone's asking about the model laptop. It is a, oh, what is that? What's the exact model number of that? Dang, why can't I remember? Oops.
What?
I can't remember the model of that laptop.
I'm not sure, actually.
So in Falcon Northwest, it's their 15-inch laptop, essentially. I don't think there's multiple options with the logo custom painted on there by the Falcon Northwest custom paint department, which actually do some pretty cool stuff. They do like automotive level paint. You can customize it with logos and stuff. Just have it to be whatever color you want it to be.
Oh. Magnetic screwdriver. We gotta pull these screws out of the holes for the moment.
So
Out of the hole. Out of the hole. Thank you.
9900K is hard to keep cool enough for high clocks. In its stock configuration, there were no cooling issues. I think it hit about 70 C on our H100i 240 millimeter all-in-one water cooler, which is a bit high in general, but I mean it's not to the point where you're going to get any thermal throttling, and any decent LGA 1151 cooler will be able to handle it. That being said, the minute you try to overclock it, it kind of doesn't work very well. We only got a 300 megahertz all-core overclock before we hit like 90 to 93 C. So we took it from 4.7 to 5.0, and that was the hard limit, at least of our chip. If I put it to 5.1 all-core, it immediately blue screened with any load. So overclocking, not great. Stock frequencies I actually think are pretty aggressive. 4.7 gigahertz across 8 cores. Gives you a lot of performance advantages. You can see that in the 9900K beating the 10-core 7900X in quite a few scenarios in our review.
Yeah, I haven't read every review out there, but the ones I was browsing from the 9900K from other reviewers,
Yeah.
I mean, a couple hit 5.2.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But not many, and it looked like they had to push the voltage to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing the overclock pretty last minute yesterday, and I probably could put a little more effort into it, but I think it would have just resulted in maybe slightly lower temperatures. I don't think 5.1 is possible with that chip, judging on how it behaved. When are games that use the new RTX features coming out? Well, in theory, Shadow of the Tomb Raider should see a patch at some point. It was released a couple weeks ago. I think Battlefield 5 might end up shipping with it since they pushed it back a month, and it's now shipping in November, I believe. It's supposed to ship in October, so I wouldn't count on it, but I also wouldn't be surprised that if it shipped with RTX support or if it came soon after. If I was a betting man, I would say before the end of the year, we'd see at least one RTX title.
All right, so I think these are going to thread in now. All right. Screws have started to.
Oh, I know what's in that package. I think
It's in that package.
I think it's a processor.
What
Oh.
process?
A
Are we
red
allowed-
one.
Are we allowed to say
A red processor.
a red processor?
Mm-hmm. Shiny.
They come red now. Oh, that's because that standoff was trying to unscrew.
Yeah, the fact we haven't seen any DLSS-enabled games is worrisome, I would say. Considering that's supposed to be the easier to implement feature that developers don't really have to do a whole lot.
I was under the impression, Ken, and I don't know where I got this impression, but that it just works.
Yeah. I don't know where you got that impression.
It must have been a fever dream.
Yeah. It seems like the problem is probably on NVIDIA's side with the training of the neural nets and getting those models and distributing them rather than the game support. Because, yeah, on a game level, it's just like an API that gets integrated into the game engine. It's already integrated into UE4 because they were showing the Infiltrator demo with DLSS, the UE4 demo from Epic. So, I mean, it should be there in game engine support. I think it's probably on NVIDIA's side that they're maybe running into a couple issues.
Mm-hmm. Man, overall, and I'm a guy who has made really poor choices by spending a lot of money on graphics cards over my life. I'm talking like
We've witnessed some.
first gen Titans, 6990s, AMD, Radeon
wow.
6990s, a pair of them.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Stutter steady.
Oh yeah, but man, our RTX, the whole thing surrounding RTX, I think you're going to buy these cards, buy them for their performance versus what you can get on the market at the same price today. Buy it as a traditional card, but ray tracing, because even if we can get a bunch of ray tracing games in before the end of the year, you got to make a lot of sacrifices to enable those features.
Well,
in some cases
we don't know yet.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Okay, that's true.
I played Battlefield 5 with ray tracing enabled at Gamescom, and I had no idea what settings it was running at, but it looked pretty good.
Well, sure. And I'm sure that they did what they had to do to make sure that demo looked great. But
Absolutely.
It seems like at some level we may have to make some sacrifices: resolution, frame rate, other graphics quality settings, and
Look at that spaghetti that we're.
That's artfully cable managed. Yeah, that would be
That's something
good.
you're gonna need that for the review.
Yeah.
Because we ain't taking this cover back off
Did you say that?
ever.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Jedi Master Allyn in the chat is talking about playing at high resolutions, high frame rates. If you have to cut it back, to 60 hertz or to 1080p.
Yeah.
I mean, NVIDIA would love to sell you a G-Sync monitor, and that would help with that lower frame rate. But
yeah, I will say that, of course, I played that Battlefield 5 demo on a G-Sync monitor.
Yeah.
And I think it was a 25 by 14 even.
And that's totally, if you've got the G-Sync setup already, that's going to help mitigate the lower quality there. But man, when you're used to playing at 120 plus, it's going to be hard to go back. And especially if you're used to playing at 4K or 1440p and you got to go to 1080p on certain titles.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really exciting feature. It's awesome. It's the first big leap in graphics, reframing the graphics landscape. But it is a very early stage for this stuff.
Seems maybe too early to be pushing it to consumers.
Yeah.
but you got to get the hardware out there so that
It's
software
a
developers
chicken and
implement
an
the
egg
features.
thing.
It's certainly a catch-22.
Yeah.
Chicken and the egg problem.
Although we know which one came first in this case. Definitely the hardware, because the software is nowhere to be found.
Oh, hey. We were foiled by a power connector. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not for that. Could have been amazing.
Could have been Prodigies. It could have been a contender.
Could have been.
Guess we should probably make sure it still works, huh?
Come on, rotate, rotate, rotate. There we go. There we go. I mean, I would buy one of these.
Do you want to buy one of these? Got a system in it and everything.
Well.
Honestly,
Yeah, it's
I ought to evaluate how thermals and stuff work out and sound and everything, but I am impressed for the price point.
Oh yeah, the hardware that we've shown off today has been incredibly impressive. The talent on the air, not so much.
not so much.
Certainly lacking.
I'm going to have to call The Verge and apologize because apparently this is harder than it looks.
Listen. Oh, we messed
See
up.
how big their case was?
All I messed up was the power connector. That's good looking.
Yeah. I am quite satisfied.
You going to leave the RGB enabled?
Not in flashing rainbow mode. I think it needs to be something, but I don't know what color. What color should it be, chat?
Do the
Can't really do white.
RTX cards that have RGB, are they still work with that NVIDIA the little app that allowed you to change the, or not RGB, but that have lights? Can you still change them with the little app?
But the ones that have RGB still use like the Asus or the MSI software.
Oh, okay.
I take that back. There's almost a 1/4 inch here.
Really?
Yeah. On this side.
Oh yeah, actually.
Because I'm able to, you can just flex in the
Yeah, that actually does have a fair amount of breathing room.
plexi and it's still not even hitting the
So 65 millimeter cooler.
65 millimeter
Does
cooler. It just looks like it's not gonna,
Yeah.
but then it does. This is sharp looking.
Yeah.
Just that much stuff crammed into that small of a space.
Like I said, they have a black version, so you could go for a little more. Like these white pieces would be black, so you'd have a little more of a stealth feel. But I actually like the contrast. Black acrylics can get very fingerprinty very
My
quick.
cable management got messed up.
You know, I think it will suffice. All right. Well, I guess with that, now that we have a fully assembled booting PC, we should probably go do some actual work.
Yeah. Any more questions before will it blend? Well, kind of tempted to find out after this.
You need a big blender.
Yeah.
All right. So
I don't know how to end the stream.
I think we should end it by telling people that there's a bunch of content on the site this week, including the NVIDIA RTX 2070 review of two cards,
Two of
an EVGA and an MSI card, both at $500, the sort of entry-level price for the 2070. There's also today the i9-9900K review, a fairly exciting 8-core CPU launch from Intel, although it doesn't really seem to be available for the expected retail price of about $500. So that'll take some time to shake out. But overall, it's an impressive part for the price point. You can check more in the article. I think Mori has some Z390 boards in the pipeline for the new Z390 chipset that launched alongside the 9900K. I'll have a review of this at some point with thermals and noise and all of that fun stuff. And, just stay tuned.
When I said I didn't know how to end the stream, I meant technically I don't know what button to push to end the stream.